Okay, we're back. It's November 3rd, 2016. It feels like a new day in Chicago, John. Just kind of weird waking up this morning with the Cubs.
Yeah, well, that's what a 108-year-old Rip Van Winkle would feel like today, too, Andrew, because that's how long it's been.
You know, I'm thinking, and I was going to tweet this, but I didn't because, I don't watch baseball every day, but it sounds like Wrigley Field's cursed. Because they didn't win too many. They only won one game there. It seems like they were better on the road. So maybe it wasn't the Cubs all along.
You.
And maybe it was Wrigley that's cursed. It's like a haunted house. Maybe they should tear down Wrigley and build something new.
No.
Like give it another name like GoPro or Facebook or something. Rahm Emanuel's or some. Give it a nice name. But when I went in today, Jamie, that does our VIX report, he had his Cubs shirt on. He's pretty stoked because he's a big Cubs fan. I think he split season tickets with some of his buds down there on the floor. And he's always taken off early for the day games. Obviously, he was excited, but he said everybody in the pit was tired this morning because the game went on late. And then, whatchamacallit, they were selling premium this morning, but what a difference a little bit of coffee and, an afternoon make. Did you see this last trade that came in?
Yeah, well, I got it from you.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, somebody bought 25,000 of the 19 calls in the VIX and sold 25,000 of 30s or something like that, I think you
call
said.
Spread. More upside. Mm-hmm. And that made the VIX spike up to almost, 220, I think.
21
right?
something.
Yeah. So, I guess more to come.
And, 25,000 call spreads, folks, is 2.5 million share equivalent. So that's not a small bet. That is a pretty large bet or hedge.
And it was
Take your pick.
It was a dollar something. So it's not like it wasn't like they did that one trade for like 6 cents yesterday. This is a little bit bigger money wise trade.
Heck yeah. I mean, 25,000 times, what was it, $1.90 or something? Call it $2 almost, Andrew?
Yep.
Okay, so that's $5 million trade. Yeah.
What'd you say?
That's 2.5 million times $2 is a $5 million trade.
That's a lot of dough. So
somebody with a large book that is thinking that the Trumpster is extending his lead here.
I know. The only thing I could see that could maybe put a kibosh in this, which would be actually kind of a good thing, is they're making a lot of advances in Mosul, in Iraq, the last few days, and apparently this Abu Bakr guy, the one that runs it, apparently he's saying, fight to the death, young Cubs. Actually, they call their kids the little fighters Cubs, different than the Cubs in Chicago.
Yeah. The little 10 and 12-year-olds that he has dying for him.
Yeah, exactly. So they're thinking maybe they've got him backed in the corner. And you know me, I'm Mr. Conspiracy, tinfoil hat. But this could be the last Hail Mary play. Could you imagine, like, Sunday night, them saying, we got him, the head of ISIS has been cut off, just as one last, thing for the Hillary camp? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
I don't think people will care. The reason
they'll make a big story out of it, though.
They'll try, but I mean, he's only the head because the last head that died 2 weeks ago died, and then who's the next one?
They're talking about the Supreme guy, the guy that started it, the Mr. Caliphate dude, the Supreme leader dude.
With that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. You know me. You guys, you put on a Facebook trade by force majeure, eh?
Yeah, well, it wasn't something that I like to do for clients because it's, it's these binary bets. In other words, folks, up or down, yes or no. If I could take the risk down further, I'd probably like it even more. But there's no real reason to have for a customer's wealth to have it tied up in, a trade into earnings like Facebook. But somebody yesterday came in and bought 7,100 of the 121 puts in Facebook that expire on Friday this week, November 4th. And how did they finance it? Did they just buy them outright? No. They sold upside calls at the 136 strike. This is straight out bet that things are bad for Facebook. And or it's a hedge, which makes it the difficult trade that it was. Because if you owned, let's say, 700,000 shares of Facebook, and it's trading near its all-time highs, it's prudent, many of us would say, to hedge, right? Well, selling that upside call and buying a ton of dough if it reverses. On the other hand, if you were really negative on the stock and you just did that trade, you did pretty well. So I just put on a put spread, made some money on it, said thank you very much. Because even with the great earnings, Facebook flipped over and went down. And it came off the lows of the day, but it's still down pretty far, 5-6%. And I think it's an opportunity, Andrew. They always, every single time something like this happens, they all say, well, so the growth's finally dead, right, John? No. They gave conservative guidance, but the growth certainly was still there. They exceeded every expectation again for the quarter. It's just that last quarter they exceeded expectations by 15 cents, and this quarter was only by 10. But you're beating even, the optimistic earnings outlooks each quarter. So to me, that's not a business in decline, but some people wanted to view it that way, said, get to the sidelines. It gave you an excuse to get to the sidelines, but I will be using that excuse to get into some better positions in Facebook, probably around the 117 level. That's where I think it's going.
Well, God bless you. I'm on the other side of that, and I'm not talking about trading. I'm thinking about getting off Facebook in general. They just suck all the information away from you and then sell it, which I'm really getting tired of. I mean, you go on there, it's like, hey, that tripod you were looking at last week, you still want it? I'm like, huh? Like, yeah, the one you were looking at on Craigslist. I'm like, really? Like, yeah, we know where exactly. We've got one here for you. It's like, really? So they're like stealing all the information. Hey, what's your trade in SBUX? They were boarding up the SBUX last night, by the way, by Wrigley. I thought that was kind of odd that they would. Well, I figured it was kind of odd they would be doing it at 12 at night. It kind of made me suspect. It reminded me when they burnt that one down in Greece during the, the debt crisis over there. What are they doing in Starbucks?
Well, the good news is, of course, that they didn't go so crazy up in Wrigley, but they were still, out this morning, Andrew, at 7 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
My daughter held the phone out the window and said, Dad, listen. And people were still honking horns and driving around screaming, Cubs win, Cubs win, up in the neighborhood. So
crazy.
We live up by, not right next to Wrigley, but we live in that general direction. And the crowds were enormous and fairly well behaved. I did not hear about significant damage done after the game in celebrations.
I saw a couple people falling off of lamp poles. They had one dude on the street. Somebody took a picture of him, which I thought was kind of funny. Dude, don't climb alcohol and 20-foot lamp poles don't go together. But tomorrow's the big. They've already announced tomorrow's the big parade here in the city. This should be nice. So,
for whatever reason, Chicago has always liked doing these, Andrew, during the week.
Yeah, why?
And I don't know.
Jamie said they couldn't get
there
enough.
Will be millions.
Yeah, they said they couldn't get enough trains into the city, and I'm like, well, duh. Hire the train guy and some more trains to come in. I mean, how hard is that? Make America great again. Seriously, they said that there's not. Well, Saturday. Well, we don't have any trains running. Well, don't you have some that work? Yeah, anyway, don't get me started.
It will be an epic party. I'm sure you'll get down there and get some footage for us.
Oh, yeah, actually, I might just take the camera out. I'm going to get some interviews, some man on the street stuff.
That might have to be your podcast tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe that's what it'll be. Good idea. I like that. GoPro, you were a little bit early on the call in this. The earnings are tonight, right?
Yeah. And I was corrected right away on Twitter after I said it on the halftime yesterday. knock on wood, bought the calls at 55 yesterday. They didn't get to $1, but they got to like 96 cents. Took off about half of them, still holding the rest here into earnings tonight. They were buying the 15 strike calls that expire tomorrow. So tomorrow is Friday, folks, November 4th. So we'll see how that plays out. Unfortunately, I'm riding in a car right now, so I don't have the computer up with
it's at 12,
what's going on with
it's
that.
It's 12.21. It's down 63 cents. My take on this.
Gave back yesterday's gain.
Yeah, you know the GoPro you bought for your daughter?
Mm-hmm.
The one that I borrow every once in a while. That has to go in. That has to go into a housing for the waterproof. Remember, I took it to Hawaii. I had to slap it in that thing. Well, the GoPro 5, you don't need to do that. It's almost the same camera, but you don't need that housing anymore, which I think is super cool, and that makes the microphone a lot better. So the mic is better on these GoPro 5. So it's got me seriously looking at them. But the other thing I like about GoPro is those drones they got out now. They came out with the super duper drone with like a gimbal system. It's like a whole package that they put in a backpack. It's like, I think $800, maybe $1,000. But that's, again, competing with the DJI, which is the other one. But maybe... I like it. But here's the real play. Even though I'll probably play, GoPro through the earnings tonight, the real play, Andrew, is Best Buy. Oh yeah.
Because what you're talking about with the new Hero 5 and the 8, the quadcopter with multiple GoPros on it and all that kind of stuff, along with the iPhone 7 and 7
the Oculus
Plus.
Guy, the Oculus dude from Facebook. I mean, seriously, they have an Oculus dude in the store letting you try it on, and like they're selling. I like that. It's not like say, hey, we're Oculus, we're so great, buy it. They got it. They physically put it on your head, and you can try it right there in the store. I'm like, well, that's cool. That'll spurn some kind of sales. I don't know what it's gonna,
You got to believe it will. So I'd keep my eye on those.
Yeah, I like. You know what? You're right. Best Buy is probably a better deal.
Best Buy.
Now all you got to do is play a little techno music when you go into Best Buy, and then you're set. Because I went on a buying trip to Europe once, and every store had techno music, like dun 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 dun. It kind of makes you want to buy. Mm-hmm. You go into the Best Buy and they play techno music. Never mind. Anyway, DT. All right. So, are you coming back for the parade tomorrow, or are you gonna go off to one of those?
Well, I'll be back, but the parade will be over because I'm on halftime tomorrow from here tomorrow. So by the time we're done with the halftime report, the parade will be winding down. So no, I will see you on Monday, though, Andrew.
Sounds good. All right.
Well, folks, remember, as always, you can subscribe through iTunes or YouTube. Make sure you check it out. Tell your friends.
All right. Later.